Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the candidate forum for the Virginia 2nd District. It's turning out to be a pretty important election this year, I'd say. We invited Congressman Nye here, but I do not see him on the podium. The Hampton Roads Tea Party would like to thank you for showing up tonight and participating in our constitutional republic. I don't think there's ever been a more critical time in our recent history, at least not in my lifetime, where your vote matters as much as it does right now. And I salute everybody on this podium right here for participating in this very, very important and critical election. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As we get started, we have a distinguished moderator this evening, Robert Trzynski. He's from the Charlottesville area. Some of you may be familiar with Robert's work. He writes prolifically on tiadaily.com. He also is a big contributor to Real Clear Politics. If any of you are addicts like myself, it's something you visit at least once an hour. Robert's work has been read in its entirety on the Rush Limbaugh show. Some of you may be familiar with him as well. If not, I encourage you to listen. He's had experience with this before. He's moderated other events in the 5th District, so welcome to you, Robert. Tonight, we want to thank the Wyndham Hotel as well for allowing us to use this beautiful hall, and please frequent the bar after for soft beverages or whatever you prefer. And without further ado, we'll get started. Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Steve. We set this up with my folder here. All right, go. Hold this in here. Everybody hear me fine? Now, a couple things I want to mention before we get started. We have a straw poll put out by put together by the Tea Party group. It's basically for you guys to register which candidates you like. Kind of a nice feature you get to register who you liked before the debate and who you liked afterwards. It's a chance for us to see what the reaction was. It's the one that looks like this, and you can hand it in the back. Outside, there's going to be somebody set up at one of the tables there to collect it. There'll also be, we're going to have about an hour of questions. We'll have a quick break, about a 5-minute break, and finish up to about a 2-hour total length, 4 questions. And in that break, there will be question cards, little 4x6 cards that you can go fill out to submit a question that you'd like to have asked in the second half. And so I can work in some of those as we go into the second half of the event. It's sort of in the spirit of the Tea Party movement. The questions that I have pre-prepared here are ones that have been submitted by people who are in the Tea Party movement. It's part of the spirit of the Tea Party movement to take questions submitted by you, and not just some questions selected by an elite of us professional political types. All right. I wanted to begin first by saying something to all the Tea Party people in attendance, everyone who helped organize the Tea Party events, who attended the rallies, or who given this movement their sympathies. What I want to say is thank you. Thank you for what you've achieved in such a short period of time with no organization or infrastructural or national leadership, while being alternatively ignored or slandered, and recently mostly slandered, by much of the mainstream media. This is what hope and change really looks like. Now, David mentioned I've done these before. I did a debate I was involved in several debates in the 5th District, Charlottesville, Lynchburg area. And I've also started a website called the Tea Party Debates, teapartydebates.org, which is basically there to facilitate Tea Party groups to hold candidate forums like this, where there's a contested, in this case, very contested race for the Republican nomination. And I view this as an important logical next step for the Tea Party movement. We've been very clear so far about what we're against, but events like this allow us to define and promote what we're for. Make sure that this November that we have something better than the lesser of two evils to vote for. Now what we're for is liberty. for individual rights, economic freedom, a representative government that answers to the people. So my intention is to keep tonight's questions tightly focused on the issues of central concern to the Tea Party, is free markets, small government. Given our location and the importance of military affairs in this area, I will be spending some time on foreign policy as well. Like I said, the questions are mostly drawn from suggestions sent to us by various Tea Party members, and of course the second half will have some questions drawn from this audience directly. Although I've added a few questions of my own, and the whole purpose is to get the candidates to state not just their positions on specific issues, but their core values and their basic philosophy of the role of government. And I don't expect all the candidates to agree with the Tea Parties on every issue, but I hope we can get them to declare where they stand and just simply to level with us, so we know when they don't agree. Now, the reason this is important is it's customary when someone's running for office that they have to run the gamut of all the various special interest groups. You go to promise each one of them that you will provide them all the government benefits that they want. But there's never a requirement that you have to go to tell people that you will not support government action. Tell people that you will limit government action. It's high time the candidates agreed to answer to a group that recognizes that over and above any special interest, we all have a fundamental and overriding interest in liberty. Now, one last thing I would just remind the candidates to do is that this is being recorded for later rebroadcast on radio, so for the benefit of the radio audience, if each of you could repeat your name before you give each answer, so that they can keep, they can't see you up here, so they can keep track of who's answering one question. We got a guy in the 5th district who said, any question you like, any answer you like, that was mine. Now to begin with, I want to note we have 8 candidates up here tonight, and we have 7 in the 5th district, and I thought that was a lot. We have 8 here. And I want to break a little bit of news to the candidates here. Not all of you can win. With this many candidates in the race, voters are going to be looking for reasons to start crossing people off the list, and my job tonight is to help them find those people. So let me put my first question to you, which is also your opportunity to introduce yourselves to our audience. Let me put it as bluntly as possible. What makes you think you're so special? What do you bring that makes you exclusively qualified to represent the 2nd district rather than one of your rivals? We'll start with Mr. Golden, and we'll go back down. Oh, this side, this 90 seconds.
Where are the timers right here?
Yes.
All right. Now, why don't you tell the truth? You came down from Albemarle County because you're the last conservative in Albemarle County, and you just wanted to meet some other conservatives down here. So,
Not true.
absolutely. Why am I so special? How would I tell you about my